Do you need a render of me or
No, no. I got one off you off
no?
IG.
All right.
All that stuff. You'll see on the.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah, you'll see it, right? You see it already?
Yeah. Let me see. Dope. Yeah, I see it.
All right, cool. All right.
All right. Let me get this link.
Yeah.
Oh man.
How you been?
Uh, can't complain so far, dude. I've been really excited about this.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Because
That's
honestly, when you said that you were trying to be the new Chris Van Vliet, I was like, that's one of my goals. Because I always told myself, if I ever become a professional wrestler, I want to get interviewed by him. So for you to
I
do something like that, that's dope, and I'm so excited for it.
don't think I know. I don't. There's only one guy who I know who did a really good call podcast. Who was very consistent. Was a guy named Jamko. Jamko was probably one of the first call podcasters that I know. Very consistent. He interviewed a lot of people. And
Oh yeah,
I think he stopped now. So I was like, all right, let me try to attempt what he did. And I don't think he
yeah,
ever touched based on the Facebook side. I'm not Facebook. I'm sorry, the IG side of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me do that. Jamka's a really cool guy, really down to earth. Um, and he's been doing call since 2008 or 9 or some shit. So
Oh, that's definitely dope.
yeah, so he knew a lot of people that I knew when I got into call on the Facebook side.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the Facebook call side dates back to like 2008, 2009, even 10. I have people in my roster who's been doing calls since 2010. So I'm like, all right, I know what he's asking the right questions, interviewing the right people, you know. So,
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
right, I'm gonna send you probably a thumbnail. I already uploaded my drive, so I'll do that. And what's crazy
I'm
is,
also.
yeah,
Go ahead.
and what's crazy is he never showed his face till I interviewed him on my podcast, which is
Oh,
crazy. So
really?
because everybody knows like, what does Jamka look like? And I was like, I, well, here he is. Yeah,
Yeah, dope, man.
yeah. So it's pretty cool. All right.
Genuinely have to wonder if there's ever been like CAW in MySpace, considering it's on Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, you are right. All right, there you go. Boom, I sent you. Do 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 do. All right. Let me put in the stories first so people can do it that way. Story. Do 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 do.
I have to say though, so far my favorite ones that you've done are CZB and Wade
Yeah.
because really, really well thought out. Like
Yeah.
the way they just answered everything was just amazing to me. But I also told myself tonight I'm gonna be unfiltered as I possibly can. So if I cause any controversy, I apologize.
It's all good.
Oh man.
Booyah. Okay, cool. Ready to upload that. I'll put it on my thing. Do do do. Wrestling. Who is this guy? That's Kasady Osbourne, Zulite.
Who said that?
It's a guy who's in my roster. His name is
Oh
Zulite.
yeah.
Wrestling Game Universe Conglomerate. Hey, did I say that right? Conglomerate. Live with Cassidy.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. It's like people are probably not gonna know me as much as the rest, but
That's fine. It's Caw.
yeah.
People don't really know each other till you. finally interview him. So.
I also have my notes ready, so I came prepared.
Oh, you're just like Wade.
Yeah, felt like I really needed to.
All right. Dominion Network. I mean, yeah, I got the name part, but hey Kasady. All right, cool. Like, can we get a rundown of what he's done? Sure. That's what this is. That's what this platform is here for.
Do I need to get a quick rundown of my accomplishments?
Nah, it's fine. Don't worry. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna start in 2 minutes. We're gonna start in
It's
2 minutes.
it's a pretty short list, but I could get through it. No problem.
It's Justin, by the way. Yeah.
What's good, Justin?
That's the god of car right there, Justin Massacre.
I have a feeling he might be mentioned in this interview too.
Yeah, Justin Massacre is the goat. He birthed everyone in Claw. That's what I think.
He was there for everything.
Yeah, he was there. Have you seen comic books? He's like the who's those three bald guys in space? The shit. They were in. God, I forgot the name.
I can't remember myself.
But they did have an appearance. Stan Lee was talking to them. Is one of the thing.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, he's the Stan Lee of Caw, making cameos in everyone's stories.
Yeah, if Justin can date me back to 2016 till now, that guy is crazy. Like,
oh yeah,
he discovered me through Facebook. Then I did not know he was that involved in IG. And this,
right.
Yeah, so it's crazy that this guy dates back to 2016, and I know people has been doing it since 2010 and 8 and 9. So yeah, man. Even like if I can date back Caw before HLR, then the fact that Justin's been not only in the HLR side, because the EFED side of Caw dates back before HLR, so HLR wasn't a thing till 2018, 2017.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So yeah.
Somewhere along those lines.
Yeah. Let's see. When did they start having the HLR feature? That's what I want to know. That's a good answer.
Justin, that's for something you to answer.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll answer that. We'll answer that later. But yeah, man, it's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. Time to get this interview going. So 5, 4, 3, 2. What's good, everybody? Welcome to the XVPW Network. I am your host, X, aka the Comeback Kid, and this is XVPW's Live and Direct, where I interview everybody, do my best to interview everybody from the Caw universe, the Caw community. The last interview I did was with Matt Short, the owner of Madness. You can check out his stuff on Twitter. He's very and also on YouTube, which is also Madness. Just look it up. Heavily involved in the COH network, aka Relentless on Twitch. Make sure to check that out. That's Matsuda Tanaka's promotion and all that. But today I got a guy from the IG side, the Instagram side of Caw. His name is Kasady Osbourne.
What is up, everybody? Your last hope is here, and he's ready to answer these questions.
And King Phoenix says, I'll get my interview in the next second. I promise you, King Phoenix. My bad, man. So, yesterday, I'm going to mention that I was so tired of, like, at my job and whatnot, that it totally backplaced my mind that I was supposed to interview Phoenix yesterday. But it will happen. I feel bad. But, yeah, I will interview Phoenix. I will interview Justin Massacre. And all that stuff. It will happen, guys. Most likely next week.
Right.
But yeah, man. Kasady Osbourne, what is good, my man?
Not much, man. Just hanging in there. Can't really complain at all. Life's been going good so far. So yeah, I'm just thriving at this point.
You're starving? Starving as in like hungry?
I said thriving.
Oh, thriving. Thriving.
Yeah.
He is thriving, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, man, don't worry, we're gonna talk about Caw in the second half of this, but let me just pick your brain, man.
Oh boy.
When did you started becoming a wrestling fan?
Oh, so my first exposure to professional wrestling was in the year 2007.
Mm-hmm.
I was 4 years old around this time, either 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Now, the majority of my life, I was always like a fan of stuff like Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles or Spider-Man, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I never really ventured into wrestling. One night, I remember getting up and seeing my dad watching the Royal Rumble of 2007. And the very first match I ever sat down to watch was Test versus Bobby Lashley for the ECW Championship.
Wow.
You could not have ever like gotten that right if I asked you what's the first match you ever watched. That never would have came to your mind at all.
That's interesting.
You know, I just sat and watched this match, and I'm like, what is this? It's just two guys, beating each other up for literally no reason. But the more and more I watched it, it was like, I kind of like this. So I kept in and out of wrestling for a good while. I remember my favorites growing up around this time was guys like Edge, Randy Orton, CM Punk, Jericho, Benoit, and weirdly, Elijah Burke, the Pope.
Oh,
like,
Pope,
that was always
Pope
weird.
is the GOAT, man. Oh,
Yeah.
man, I was a big fan of the Pope in TNA. That was the dude.
Yeah. But, those are some of my favorites. And, I'd just be watching it here and then because I really couldn't watch a whole lot of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
My mother never was a fan of me watching wrestling. Neither was my grandfather.
Wow.
Because that's who, yeah.
Were they strict? They were strict parents. Like you can't watch that.
They just thought that wrestling was so time consuming for no reason, so they never wanted me to watch it. They just wanted to watch their own shows.
What was the shows they wanted to watch?
If I remember correct, my grandfather was always into westerns.
Huh.
My mom was into like romance shows, I believe. So anytime I was like, oh, I want to sit down and watch Monday Night Raw. Nope, they got their show. So I'm like, I never could watch
You never got a second TV for your room?
Never could.
What? Okay. Interesting.
But when I fully got into wrestling, because I was still in and out for a good while, checking out occasional WrestleManias, SummerSlams here and there, and it was all good. I never hated wrestling at one point. But when I fully got into it was around 2012 or 2013.
That was a good time.
2013, honestly, was the year I got fully sucked into wrestling, and that is because of Daniel Bryan.
Huh.
Daniel Bryan.
This was WWE Daniel Bryan or like the Ring of Honor?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because Ring of Honor Daniel Bryan was date backs to like early 2000s.
I will say though, I tuned into Impact as well, but I never fully got around to watch it that much.
Mm-hmm.
Only memories I really had of Impact was the Aces, Nathan, Chris Sabin winning the world title from Bully Ray. Those were some good times.
Yeah.
But I fully got into wrestling because of the whole Daniel Bryan versus the Authority storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything around it, like you had guys like my favorites. You had the Shield, the Wyatt family, Punk, Bryan. You had guys like Ziggler, even Damian Sandow. I love Damian Sandow. He was a really good heel. These guys were they're the ones that stuck out to me, and that's when I fully got invested into the product.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then from there, I was able to watch anytime I want, if they had stuff like Raw, SmackDown, Main Event, Superstars, even Saturday Morning Slam, I was a fan of. I loved wrestling. I could not get enough of it. And then, I take a break here and there because there's sometimes I get annoyed and I was like, I'm never watching again. But then next week I tune in to watch it. I was a standard wrestling fan, but yeah, man. Full year I got into it was 2013.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Who are like your top 5 favorites that like now? Everything.
Top 5 favorites now. Edge, because he's still kicking, and I was so gutted when he had to retire, and then I was so happy when he came back, and ever since he's been back, bro, like none of his storylines or matches have been miss to me. Like I've been a huge fan of his run so far.
Seth versus Rollins was actually really good.
That was a really good feud.
That was a really good one. I enjoyed that one a
lot. Edge, gotta go to AEW too because I like to give some credit to AEW as well. Favorite over there so far, probably gonna go with Claudio. I'm actually a really big Claudio fan.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he was so underused in WWE. Now he's just thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Punk, I've always been a Punk fan, no matter the circumstances. I know he's out at the moment, but Bray Wyatt, I'm a huge Bray Wyatt fan. I really was enjoying his storyline so far, but they didn't do anything with it. And my number one favorite, I would say Randy, but Randy's out right now.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But Cody Rhodes is my number one favorite right now. I love Cody Rhodes.
All right.
But it's funny to me though, because I hated Cody Rhodes in AEW, but then when he came to WWE, I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. This whole run's gonna be disappointing. He completely proved me wrong. So props.
He was the right baby face at the right time for WWE.
Absolutely.
Like, I think it was very heel driven, tweener driven, heel driven. So they needed a really good baby face because Cena left. So it was, it's absolutely hard. They tried for Roman, it couldn't work. We tried for Seth, it somewhat worked. But
what's crazy to me though is the thing with Roman. I never really hated Roman Reigns. I never really even hated his character. Every time that I saw people hating, I was like, why are they hating on this man? I never got it. But as I look back, it's like I kind of understand why they did.
Yeah. Because it was forced. It was forced. Yeah. That's the reason why, But Cody is the right baby face at the right time because look at it. It makes sense when you really look at it. There's not many really that type of cold cut baby face, then it worked.
Right.
All right.
But so yeah, man.
When did you started playing the games? What was your first wrestling game?
My first ever wrestling game was WWE 13. And this is where it gets really kind of embarrassing for me, but it was kind of fun at the same time.
Yeah.
So when I was playing WWE 13, and that was the first ever time I ever got an Xbox 360. That was the first ever legit video console game video game console I ever had. And I got WWE 13. That was the first game I ever got.
Mm-hmm.
I loved playing WWE 13, and I had this friend.
Is that the CM Punk one?
Yes.
Okay.
So my good friend Dakota DK Alexander, most people probably won't know him, but he doesn't really do much in COD, but he's been my best friend for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
We would make video game characters, and we would try to bring it to life.
Yeah.
Like when we do trampoline wrestling.
You did trampoline?
Yes. Yes.
I learned something. How was that?
Yeah, so
how was that? How did that start?
So we would make these characters, and we were trying to think of some really creative names for them. And he wanted to go the hardcore route. He wanted to go like the stereotypical hardcore wrestling route.
Yeah.
So he came up with Hardcore Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I really want to come up with a name, but I can't think of anything. And there was this girl that we used to know, and she was a wrestling fan at the time too, but she's no longer a wrestling fan now, I don't think. She had the name of Kirsten Cena. That was her name. Because she loved John Cena.
Of course.
So I'm just thinking to myself, what can I come up with? So I'm like, who's a favorite wrestler of mine? So I named myself Landon Orton. And that was my trampoline wrestling name. So we would have all these matches, and then we would do all this stuff for Universe.
So wait, your parents was so against you watching wrestling that you had trampoline in your backyard and you started your own little thing?
It's so weird, yes.
I love it. Is so that's interesting. So your mom had to tolerate that shit.
Oh yeah. She knew that the second I started going around my family reunions, RKO, and my cousins, that wrestling was a problem for me. Because that's always what I would do.
Was it you who pitched to get the trampoline?
So I don't know if it was. I think it was for my birthday or it was for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, give me a sec.
It's okay.
Yes. Okay. Hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Give me just 1 second. I'm so sorry I got interrupted.
No, man,
I'll be right back.
It's okay.
It'll take a few seconds. Just talk to the...
Yeah, I'll do my little pitch thing here. So, updated on some XVPW HLR news. The next show, if everything goes well this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, that the following Sunday is going to be XVPW's Best Effin' Show, episode 4. It's gonna be a full-blown HLR show, highlight reel show. And yeah, man, I've been looking forward to this. I've been looking for, I think everybody, especially in the IG side of things, has been looking forward to this next show dropping. You're gonna see actually the very first ever HLR tag match in XVPW. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been hit and miss with me trying to do this HLR thing due to like a crashy PS4, but everything was in the works, and yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it. But yeah, man,
Dude, I'm so sorry about that. My mom was having her birthday celebration, so we had to go see.
And you wanted to do this? Wow, you are so heel.
Yeah, bro, I gotta embrace the heel. Carter, I hate you. But anyway, so the trampoline.
Yeah.
I think it was a birthday present or a Christmas present. Because they had noticed we had all these kids in the neighborhood, and we just really, like, we wanted a source of entertainment, so she got me a trampoline. And for some reason, it attracted so many other kids that I never even knew. So the trampoline was a big draw for the crowd.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we started doing the trampoline wrestling, and anything we did universe mode, we basically replicated it on trampoline wrestling.
What was Lando Orton's finisher?
The LKO.
Okay. Of course.
I was not creative back then. You will find out.
Nobody was back then, bro. It's fine. It's fine.
What's good, Carter? Welcome to the stream. But
all right. So you got the game. You got 2K13. You and your friend created your cause. You created Lando Orton and all that stuff. Okay. So then what happened next?
So after that, I eventually had moved away because I enjoyed WWE13 so much, I wanted to get 2K14 next year. But in the midst of me waiting to get 2K14, I got SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. And I enjoyed that so much more than WWE13. I was like, this is it. Like, this is my favorite game at the time. And it was my favorite game for years.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I had to go back and do the versus Undertaker Road to WrestleMania. Landon Orton versus Undertaker so many times. It was amazing.
All right. So when did Caw happen for you?
Oh, boy. All right.
So clearly we got into the lore of your shit now. So when did Caw officially, like...
So for me, because this is a little history before the Caw thing. I had met CZB, Robin Hees, and TJ.
Like
TJ
in people, in person.
Yeah. I hadn't met them in person, but I met them over Twitter. And I had met these guys, and for a good while, I kept in contact with them and whatever else.
Yeah.
But then one day, I found out that, they all had PlayStation, and I had an Xbox One. But I really wanted to,
chill with them.
Play with these guys, yeah. So I said, I want a PS4 for Christmas. Got PS4, got 2K18. We, face each other in like tournaments. This was just us having a good time.
Yeah.
There was nothing COD related until we got 19.
Yeah.
I believe everyone started on 19.
It unlocks. Most people. Yeah, it unlocks everything. Yeah.
So when we got on 19, we decided to, start having these like a league, basically. We meet random players. We'd have matches for like titles. We had so many championships, it was insane. So we were doing all these matches.
Yeah.
But when we officially got into CAW, and I'll never forget this day because this was truly a hilarious day for me looking back in hindsight. We had met this guy named Jay.
Yeah.
No. We had met this guy named Jay. I don't know what his last name was, but he was related to Robin, and he had introduced us to NWG.
What's NWG?
NWG was this promotion that him, Wi-Fi Funeral, and Wade were in. I think Wade told you about that in his interview. So we got exposed to it because we were watching it, seeing what these guys were doing, and it was actually dope. So we wanted to form our own league. So he started teaching us how to get stuff out, like what to do, what not to say, what theme songs to use, and fear of copyright. So he was basically helping us the whole way through what to do. and we didn't officially get started till I believe December of 2019. We started, making our own Instagrams.
Were
And
you
like CZB,
was that weird to you a little bit or not?
it really was. It really was because I actually got recruited to be an NWG, but they forcibly removed me because I believe I posted a screenshot of me in a Raw arena acting like, I was in NWG.
Yeah.
They didn't like that, so they decided to remove me. And for a while, it was bitter, but anyways, moving on from that.
Yeah.
So we started posting, and it really felt weird to me. It's like, dude, what am I doing with this character? Like, it's just so weird to me. And then that's when we ran into the man, the myth, the legend, Justin Massacre. He was the very first person I had ever met in COD. The very first person.
I think he's everybody's first person, bro.
Honestly, it's so weird to me. It is so weird to me. So we recruited him to be a part of our league. And we started going out to recruit more and more people. So we were recruiting people like Wells. And then we were like, we want to sign more people, but we don't know who to sign. Then that's when WZW came into the picture.
What year was this? It was still 2K?
This was early 2020.
Oh, 2020. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
So we were still in 2K20, but we were mostly doing our stuff on 19 because 2K20 was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, it was a hot mess. Yeah.
And a fun fact, I spent $100 on that game too.
Oh, I feel sorry.
What a waste of money.
So as much as I trashed 2K20, I knew about the bugs. I knew about everything, and I still end up buying that trash game, right? Only to find out that HLR was only like 15 seconds.
Oh yeah. See, the thing was,
I'm the type of person.
Yeah. I'm the type of person where I see a bunch of reviews online and they're saying the game is bad. I'm like, well, I'm still gonna play it because a lot of people could say they hate the game, but I could end up enjoying the game.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong. But anyway. So I got recruited wrong way because CZB had DM'd me. And he's like, this guy is recruiting a bunch of people to be in his league. Would you be interested? And I'm like, cool. Why not? But at that point, I went in with the mindset of, I should be the world champion automatically because, I thought I was just so good at promos. I thought I was just so good at everything. So when I got in WZW, I had this idea for his character because when we first started XVPW as an official league, I was taking some time away because TJ Evans had attacked me and ripped me off screen, and I was off screen.
Yeah.
So I was struggling to come up with a character. So I thought to myself, what's something that resembles me and something that goes back to my history? I came up with the Saving Grace. Basically, the delusional heel who thinks he's a face, which I love, like Kurt Angle, Bob Backlund. I love that type of gimmick.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I wanted to do. So the Saving Grace was basically on a pursuit to save, the sinners from their corruption and sins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which it came at horrible timing though because Seth Rollins was doing the Monday Night Messiah gimmick at the same time. And had a lot of people saying you're just a bootleg Seth Rollins. It's like, I get it.
Yeah, trust me. I'm looking forward to the day I see somebody with a one-letter name in a promotion and they call themselves the Comeback Kid. I'm looking forward to that day.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know how much thought I put into my name and into that Comeback Kid title,
Well, surely it worked out for you in the end.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to somebody, popular wrestler. I don't know. Okay.
So I came back as the Saving Grace, and the reason I came up with that was around this time in real life, I became a born-again Christian in real life.
Yeah.
So I wanted to implement that in, me being a heel as a way to, get heat from the crowd, because if a guy comes in there trying to say that I'm going to save people from their sins, he's an automatic heel in my opinion.
Yeah.
But so from there, we all went our own paths. I'd get occasional title shots here and there. I'd face guys like Dave England, and that's when I got introduced to a lot of people, and I started recruiting a lot of people
in IG.
XVPW.
Because you made an IG account, right? Yeah.
So I had joined WCW and I got introduced to so many people, including Brock Pierce, the flawless Brock Pierce, guys like Streets, X Factor, aka Kyle
Question:
Richardson.
What did you understand HLR already? Like, did you understand that there was an
No,
HLR side?
no,
Okay.
I had no idea.
Uh,
Because at the time, personally, I hated the idea of HLR.
really? Why?
I hated the fact of,
It takes long.
well, not even that. I hated the fact that, you let the computers and the AIs do everything instead of you doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
So XVPW first started out as a comp league, and we did not like anyone who did EFED. But we came
Oh.
around and thought to ourselves, you could do a lot more with EFED and HLR, we thought.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, we want to do this more. And then WCW, we get people from WCW to come to XDPW, and it was an amazing time. Like those times were simple to me because I could literally just go grab my controller, share, clip, the clips and whatever, and then just post on the YouTube page. I didn't have to record spots or write down spots and ideas for the match. It was a good time for me.
That's cool.
But over time, I was like, you know what? I can do a lot more. And me doing all that for XDPW had a lot of people rub the wrong way. Because there was starting to be issues within the creative team, and it eventually led to XDPW being shut down. So from there, I was just focused on mainly doing WCW stuff, and at the time, I was bitter, man. I hated everyone and everything because they were so more successful than me. Even led me to start hating, CCB's character. And I think he mentioned that in his interview as well.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
I hated his character because I never understood what the character was. I never understood why people were getting so behind him. I never understood why people were giving him so many title opportunities, so many times to be in the spotlight. I never understood it. But then I had to tuck my tail between my legs. Had to admit, I get what he was doing, and I wish I would have thought about that because he put in work, and I wasn't. So if he's watching this,
did you guys had a falling out?
It wasn't so much a falling out. It was like I told him how I felt. He said he had the mindset of he didn't care because that's the thing about CCB. He just does not care, and I actually admire that in him.
Yeah.
So eventually, I was like, I get what you're doing now. I'm really sorry about everything I said in the past. I'm going to work to actually open my mind to a lot more people. So that one experience honestly changed my mind a lot about COD and a lot about how I perceive people.
How old were you, by the way? If you don't mind me asking, how old were you? What? 20?
How old was I at the time?
Yeah.
I was, I believe, 16 or 17, maybe.
That's understandable. Yeah. Okay.
And then over time, I was like, you know what? You're getting older. You probably should be more mature about how you handle things. So from that point on, I took some time away from WCW. I really wasn't on screen that much. And I thought about, making a new gimmick. And originally at the time, my friend DK, I wanted to pitch to Wade for me and him to be a tag team in WCW and go after DHGS.
Okay.
So my idea was to be a tag team, but I was like, oh, Wade wouldn't go for that. So from there, I just had to keep on finding a gimmick. And I thought, who's some of your favorite wrestlers? And then I looked at NXT at the time, which, I'm gonna be honest, I love the black and gold era of NXT.
Who didn't? I don't think nobody will ever say the black and gold era was like the shit.
I genuinely, for a time, for the biggest Wednesday Night Wars, I believe, was it between AEW and NXT? I was always an NXT fan, despite me actually liking the AEW product as well.
Yeah, same.
I loved the NXT stuff.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite wrestlers at the time was Velveteen Dream.
Okay.
Despite all the controversy around him,
of course, it was still a good gimmick. Yeah,
great gimmick, great. I thought to myself, I want to make a gimmick based on that. I want to basically give my take on being flamboyant, because a lot of people perceive gimmicks like that to be like, oh, he's just a gay gimmick or whatever. I want people to get confused with it, because that's what Goldust was doing back in the
Yeah.
90s. Like, he has like Rico Constantino doing that
Mm-hmm.
gimmick that he was doing. Like, going back in time, you had Adrian Adonis, I believe, as
Yeah, yeah.
well. Like, you had all these guys doing this type of gimmick. Even Prince. Like, people would swear up and down that Prince was gay, but he was not. I wanted to do something based on that.
Even glam rock.
So,
Glam rock. People got to
yeah,
glam rock.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I based my gimmick on that. And when I got back, oh boy, what a time to be there. I entered a feud with Carter Young, and we've still been feuding since. So tune in for Asgard's.
How do you feel about that? Feuding with Carter for that long?
I personally like the idea of me feuding with him in the first place, but
Mm-hmm.
if you would have told me it would have been going for 2 years, I'd been like, you're a liar. But no, stuff takes time. And originally at the time, I was like, you know what, we should just get this match over with already. What's taking so long?
Yeah.
But now that I've actually sat in the seat, picked up a controller, recording spots, recording all these ideas and whatever else, clipping everything I need to do for HLR,
mm-hmm.
I understand the struggle that highlight reel creators go through now.
Yeah. You know what's funny is now, I think with all these new guys, these new promotions and all that stuff, it's so funny because now they have people to reach out to ask for help. You know?
Right.
There's so many people. I get DMs a lot of saying, hey, a lot of people told me to come to you for HLR. Like, yeah, man, no problem. But I had to learn it by myself. I had nobody. And this was during the Facebook community side of things. So I had nobody to reach out to. I just had to look at it, understand it, and learn by myself. There was no R-dub for me to reach out to. There was none of that, you know? Yeah, so...
I give my hats off to you guys, man. Like, the guys that had to learn on their own, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because without Phoenix giving me his tips that ironically you gave to him, I probably wouldn't have gotten anywhere with HLR.
Yeah. Like, I get a lot of DMs, and, you know, I wouldn't mind... I said I wouldn't mind teaching and shit. It's just I look back on it, especially from hearing from you, and you learning, you know, stuff like that, and you're just now picking it up and, you know, understanding. Like, that's dope.
Yeah,
know? Man. And the fact that these new generation reaching out to us is like, yeah, but we learned from other people. We learned. I'm just now learning from R-Dub how to do like tag team stops and all that stuff. That he's the only person who did tag teams and shit. Mm-hmm. You know.
I consider it the HLR iceberg in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, from there I was just going with the flow, feuding with whoever else I needed to feud with. But I was really only exclusive to WZW. Mm-hmm. I didn't care about any other companies at the time.
Yeah.
But I started dipping my toe into some companies like BWF. Can't remember any other.
Was this now or this is still 2020?
This was 2021 when I officially brought in the last gimmick.
Yeah, because the only way I found out about you was through Gabriel Gates and Alex, because they told him, because I remember this perfect like it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. I signed Gabriel Gates, I signed Alex Haas, and I asked them, because I don't know, like I said, I didn't know shit about the IG community, so I have two guys who's been there for God knows how long. They told me to reach out to you and Cameron Witt, and yeah, they told me, yo, you should instantly sign this, and I'm like, okay, you guys know more than me. Let me just see their promos. That's all I care about. I didn't really care about the matches. I just cared about the promos and whatnot. And they say, I asked them, who are the best promo guys in WZW? Up and comers and all that shit. So it was you and Cameron.
Dude, the whole thing about that honestly terrified me, because I remember like it was yesterday too. I remember sitting back and watching some of the clips you had where you were getting wrestlers like Brian Pillman Jr., Steven Richards, who else? You had all these wrestlers on your show, like making cameos for you, and I'm like, this is really dope. I actually really like this guy, and I don't even really know much about him.
Actually, fun fact, those are not cameos.
And then I actually started watching the show and saw that these guys were actually in matches. I'm like, this is so dope.
Yeah.
So I started watching more and more of this. It's like, dude, I'd love to get in that promotion, but I'm like, I probably never will. Because my mindset at the time is, with a promotion like that, they only hire the up-and-coming names that get a lot of traction. Me at the time, I was not getting that much traction.
Mm-hmm.
So I jumped into live with Gates and Alex. And I remember, because I've had my differences with Gates in the past. Me and him didn't really see eye to eye on stuff, and we just went our separate ways. But for a while, I thought to myself, I really think that he isn't a bad guy if you actually get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I just started talking to him more and more, and he seemed like he was actually cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then randomly one night, I was on vacation at the time. I came into it live with Alex and Gates. We were just chilling. I think Betty was in there too. And then I had taken a nap and woken up to getting a bunch of live videos sent to me from Alex. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? I come in there, see you, and then that's when I got recruited to be an XVPW. I was like, what? What's happening here? And then I had to give that promo, and dude, it was surreal. It still gives me chills to this day.
You know what's a little sad about that is that's almost the same time I came back as X.
Right.
So I was holding off production in XVPW just so I can come back as X to promote Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling, knowing that, I'm bringing back an old character, totally revised everything, and I'm having a blast doing HLR matches for other promotions. I'm just like, and that's the sign I signed you. So I was in a way, it's me saying my apologies for holding off production. Yeah.
And honestly, with that type of situation, it's like anytime that a company that I'm working for would take too long to produce a show or get any content out, I now understand, and I don't rush them anymore. Because number one, my show, I announced it a year ago. We still haven't gotten the show out yet, and that is on me. I will take full responsibility for that.
It's tough because not many people, and I believe in HLR, does CAW as their own CAW, runs a promotion, and produces everything. It's very hard. Outside of Wade, you, me, I guess Lionel Sua, but he has people to produce for him too, so I don't know. But I do everything by myself, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna be attempting to do everything by yourself too, unless you have people produce.
I have 2 matches to record for our first episode, and I've already started on one of them. But the main reason why is there was a point where I was dealing with a lot of issues in real life.
Yeah.
Really made me just not want to do anything. And for a time, I got lazy. Now I'm starting to get around to I really want to get this show out. I'm really focused on getting this show out because we have told everyone this is what we want to do. We owe it to them to get a show out. This is for them.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now, by the way?
I am 19, going on 20 this year.
So you're in a perfect age to still do this. I am 37.
Right.
And I do a 9 to 5. And, and I'm managing paying bills and everything, plus whatever in real life gets thrown at me. Maybe health is going to attack me, when I'm turning 38 or some shit. But I'm 37 and I still have, this is to me, some may call this a hobby. I understand. But to me, I treat this like my second job. Because even though it's my getaway from life and everything, I get to play as a wrestler. Because you know the saying, right? It's just call.
Exactly. I've heard that so many times.
It's in my head. I'm like, no, it's not just call. Because to me this is legit more than just a video game. It's more than just a video game to me now. I treat this as my second job. Why? Because I pay people in XVPW, right? I manage, and I still talk to in real life wrestlers asking me, yo, when's the next show gonna come out? Don't worry, it's on its way. You do your you do your new WWE thing because you're signed right now and shit.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm still dealing with that. I'm dealing with a lot of people, and when you have people rely on you, it's more than just COD to me. It's more than just a video game. Yeah. So.
But I always had told myself, because for a while I did not want to join any of the companies. The only company I really had my eyes on was yours. Now I get signed there. But I was thinking to myself, I want to do more.
Yeah.
because that's what got people like CZB over, and that's what I want to do. So I started signing to all these companies, and right now I'm BWF United States champion.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't start venturing out more.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I took inspiration from CZB,
Mm-hmm.
because if I didn't, I probably would have been still stuck in my bubble and still being bitter and angry towards people who are getting over. So I owe him a lot.
Yeah.
But caught. It's amazing, man. It is.
It's funny because like there's some wrestlers who started in CAW and ended up becoming pro and indie wrestlers, you know. And I have a couple of friends who are somewhat like that still. So I'm looking forward to like having somebody in XVPW. Like, yeah, I started in XVPW, but because I don't think not many people know about that. Not many people know about CAW still.
Probably not.
Like we took over, especially in the whole Twitter and Instagram side. Like I wonder how many like quote unquote like CAW profiles take over the whole IG side of things. Like how many? What's the percentages? Because it's interesting. It's really interesting that we make these avatar type profiles, and boom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I got a question now, man. Well, what's up, NWF? Yeah. What is? What did you learn personally about yourself when doing CAW?
I have
you grew. Put this. I think I understand that you started to grow. What
I have matured so much in the sense of I know what to do and what not to do.
So what are things you not to do? Educate me.
Well, for one, stop being bitter. That was the biggest lesson I took. Mm-hmm. And actually do something about it. Actually do something to grab people's attention. Because in a sense, when you're out there trying to make a name for yourself, you need to stand out from people, which is why, and here's a pet peeve of mine that I was going to get into, but I was chomping at the bit to actually get to this. I have a pet peeve with constant swearing in promos. The constant people that have to always go like, fuck, shit, bitch, I'll say all these words just to get a person's attention. I wanted to be sounding professional and immaculate with the words I say to get your attention. Because to me, that stands out in this community. Not many people are doing that much anymore. That was one of the things. Also, attire-wise, I wanted to go for a presentation that not many people would go for. Which is something like, I think that if you put a newcomer to CAW and you just put them in front of like a computer screen or a phone screen to watch a show, and you see me come out, you're gonna instantly remember who that is just by his look alone.
Yeah.
That's what I personally feel. If anyone wants to call me on that, you can go ahead. I don't care. But that's another thing. But the one major thing that I've learned is to try to make the best out of anything you're given. Any storyline that's been written for you, anytime that you're being approached with a promo, give it your absolute best. But that's not just a thing for CAW, that's for real life wrestling as well.
Yeah. Making
the best with what you have.
Example, New Day. New Day.
Exactly.
New Day. New Day was supposed to be, well, Xavier was booking it like, when he recruited the Big E and Coffee, they were wearing suits, right? So it looked like, oh man, they're trying to be serious, But then next thing you know, Vince McMahon, hey, try this, and look what happened.
Made it work.
And they made it work. Yeah.
Because if you tried to tell someone to be an undead zombie with like lightning powers, possession powers, and give him the name The Undertaker, I don't think he would get over in this age today. But back
they
then,
tried, like, example, also Stone Cold. Stone Cold, Vince was like, okay, we want to give you like this wrestler gimmick. Like, what was it? It was
the
not
Ringmaster.
The Ringmaster, Master of the Ring, right? He's like, okay, so Vince was, it's not going. Even Stone Cold took the balls to say, you know what, it's not really working for me. Vince was like, you have 15 weeks. You have 15 weeks. Come up with a gimmick and all that shit. And he became Stone Cold, So especially when a guy, your boss is telling you, okay, we understand it's not working. You have the opportunity to change it on your own. If it's not, yeah, sorry, guy, you got to boot you out. Look at Mankind. Then he came Dude Love.
Oh, yeah.
He made it work. So
I genuinely believe to myself that if I didn't pitch an idea, being the last hope, or pitch any idea for promos or anything like that, I probably would have been fired from WCW already.
I don't think you'll be fired. I just think Wade will okay, you're just gonna job now,
Or just after a while, the way Wade works is, I don't know if anyone's noticed this. If he has nothing, no use for you, he'll keep you around for a bit. But if you're not pitching anything to him and you're just basically not giving him anything in return, he's just gonna remove you. He has no use for you. And
yeah,
that's
true. That's true.
That's honestly
I
the best way to
remember. I remember pitching him. He'll pitch me something, right? This for a match. He'll pitch me something, and I'm trying to understand because I don't know. Well, you watch enough wrestling, or people who are watching this and whatnot. You do your best to understand wrestling terminology, So when Wade is pitching me a match, right? I'm looking at it, and before I even speak out, I ask him questions like, okay, I understand where this is going. Why did you pick that ending? Just so I know I can pick his brain. Then if I can, if I have enough time to understand why he did this, and this, okay, But then I'll come and say, I got something better for you. And say, oh, you know what? I like that. Okay, cool. So you can pick that, or you can pick this. I won't say here's my senses. I'll tell him here's what I would do, But if you worked enough to write all this out for me, to think of that, I will respect your choice. But now here's another option. I will never say let's run with this. No, here I got something better, and now you pick it. And it's all right. Majority of the time, still say, you know what, X? I like your idea. Of course,
That was the main reason why I had picked a feud with Carter, because I had noticed Carter really wasn't doing anything either. He was in the same boat with me, which is what I thought makes the feud actually really work. The both of us, we came in at around the same time, and both started facing issues where we weren't being properly used, not really pitching anything. And then we get this idea to actually get out there and do something, and both of us benefited from it massively. Carter, I would argue, is more over than me. Well, that's because number one, he puts in more work than me, and number two, he's just a likable character. I say this all the time. People like you, Trey Mercer, and Carter, you guys are the only legitimate baby faces right now. Maybe someone like Marty Morton could rise up. Maybe King Phoenix could rise up. But right now, when I think of baby faces in call, I think of you three. Which is what makes the feud great. I'm the detestable heel. Yeah. He's the pure babyface. It works perfectly for each other, especially considering the fact that we're two up-and-comers. That's what makes it special to me.
There's this famous saying that, because I listen to a bunch of wrestling podcasts, because that's what makes my product, try to stand out in understanding. So I listen to so much podcasts, and I remember Kurt Angle said one thing, and it really stuck out to me. If I beat a guy 15 times in a row, I did not make somebody. But if he beats me 5 times and I beat him 5 times, right? Then we both make each other. Bully Ray once said, if you're not putting somebody over, you're not doing your fucking job. Why do you think I lost so much? But I'm still the most over person in this in the community. My loss record is fucking ridiculous. I have a loss. I have probably 2 ties and probably 2 W's or something in HLR matches. I lost count. I lost count of the losses, but I still remember. I don't even remember the wins, but I know that I'm my goal. Okay, I will take the L, but trust me, I will be over in this match because people's gonna see the real thing. Because one, it was always the promos. It was always the promos that make me stuck out and whatnot. My engagement with the community. I'm still going to get over. People are going to watch an X match, but I made sure that they're going to remember me and not the person who won. Not because I produced the match. It's because they know me already. You know, they know that if they see an X match, they're gonna see something special. You know, and that was always my mentality. It doesn't matter if I face a champion or whatnot. That's a champion of your promotion. You know, that's cool. Make sure he gets over. But I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put him over. But I'm gonna still get over anyway because why? It's me. And I'm not just being cocky. That's just the way wrestling is. You know, how many times did Mick Foley put so many people over? He put over The Undertaker.
And he's still beloved, absolutely.
Right? Hell in a Cell. What was the talk of the whole entire thing? It wasn't it was not Undertaker winning. No, most definitely not. It was the talk of Mick Foley went through a fucking thing and he still got up. Mick Foley went to hell against Undertaker.
That one match took years off his career.
Exactly. Right? He put over The Undertaker, but he still got over. Mick Foley speared through a fucking table from Edge. Edge got the W, most definitely. But who put him over? Mick Foley. What was the talk of the thing? Mick Foley got speared through the fucking table. All right.
That reminds me of something else that Bully Ray had said, is get over. That's the best advice for any wrestler. You need to get over. Get over.
When I'm doing an HLR match and I ask somebody, tell me your spots. What spots do you want? What is your gimmick? And whatnot. If you can't even answer me that, which has happened, trust me, especially when I was doing matches for other people, I ask him, what do you want to see in this match? Tell me your spots. Tell me this spot. Tell me some. Feed me, because I'm trying to make you look good. You know, that's the whole point of a babyface, is to make the heel look good. You know, and the heel will make the babyface look good because he's timing the spots. All right, do your thing now. Do your thing. Like, put yourself over. All right, boom. So, exactly. but if a person can't tell me his gimmick, can't tell me what spots he wants, can't tell me this. Okay, well, clearly
it's not gonna be pleasant viewing.
Not even that. I can make him look good, but clearly you're not championship material.
Exactly.
Why did they put the belt on you? Why? Because your call looks good. All right, you know that's 10% of 80% need. So all right, then I have to ask a question. Okay, tell me your top 5 favorite wrestlers that inspired your wrestler. Okay, now I have an idea. You know. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's like, all right, I'm the one producing it. I'm gonna put myself over, you know.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, let's see, what questions can I ask you, man? Like, so you got into HLR, you're into a couple of you're in a couple promotions and whatnot. Mm-hmm. What else? What else, man?
Well, first of all, I really wanted to base this on my personal gripes with Kakad, but before I do any of that, it's like, because that's going to be a whole segment and a half.
Oh, we got 30 minutes of that shit.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. For me, what makes my character special in my eyes is versatility. Mm-hmm. You have to learn to adapt to everything. Which is, I'm the experimental type of person. I put out something that I want to like test out, see if the people like it or not, see if they don't just like it and then move on with their lives, because that happens a lot. But I want something to stand out to the audience, no matter what. Mm-hmm. One thing to remember is, did he have a good promo? Is he underrated on the mic? Is he underrated in the ring? Does he have the best drive for a wrestler that I've seen? I want people to see that. And sometimes people have seen that. Like, sometimes people have been like, you know, you got a good look, you're decent on the mic, but we need to see more. Like, Alex Haas will tell me all the time, we need to see more of you. Mm-hmm. And normally I'd be like, you know, whatever. But he's absolutely right. Because I remember this one point, this was my favorite promo I ever did. And I don't think a lot of people remember this. I was feuding with Chris Malenko back in BWF. Mm-hmm. And we were supposed to lead to a big feud between us. Unfortunately, got cut short, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So we had done the storyline to where he had dropped a promo on me, called me Donatello from Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
And why? I was like, why did he call me Donatello? Whatever. Okay. So I was like thinking to myself, how can I bounce back from that? So what I did was I made me a Donatello attire and I had the background music, the Ninja Turtles theme song, while I'm cutting this intense promo. I loved it because it was the perfect balance of comedy, playing onto what someone else said, and getting my message across. Those are the three things I accomplished with that one promo. I love that promo because of stuff like that.
That's what's up.
That's what makes wrestling special to me. You gotta learn to adapt to everything, or else you're gonna get left behind.
Take risk. Yeah, take risk.
Yeah. Exactly. Absolutely. But let's get into personal gripes, because why not?
What was your first personal gripe?
So my first personal gripe was whenever people were pretending to be other established wrestlers.
Like a Roman.
I would see.
It's still this gimmick. Yeah.
I'd see call wrestlers posting pictures of like edits from TikTok, acting like it was them. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Why is someone doing this?
Huh.
That was my first personal gripe. And anytime I saw that, I would be like, that's very uncreative. You should do better.
Did you address it? Did you address it in the public, or you just messaged the person saying,
hey? Anytime I saw it in a group chat, or anytime I saw it on my feed, I would just go on my story and post saying like, people should do better.
Mm-hmm.
I made it so known to everybody how I felt, because I was the type of person where it's like, it's caught. I ain't gonna get no trouble for this. No one's gonna get mad at me.
You know what's funny? Talking to you now, like, 'cause I don't think you and I ever had like a straight conversation. I gotta say that you're very mature for your age, which is really good, especially in a community where it's a lot of immaturity, a lot of toxicity, and it's wrestling in general. So you deal with a lot of egos and shit like that. Mm-hmm. You take this very well.
Like, maybe if this was like 2 years ago, that would definitely not be the case. But yes, absolutely now. I will fully admit, yes.
Yeah.
But my second personal gripe is I feel that people rely too much. And this is no dig to you. This is no dig to RW. This is no dig to any HLR creator.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like too many people focus on how we could get, or how many spots can we do, how smooth can we make them look, instead of actually trying to tell a story with the character.
Tell a story, yeah. I see that a lot. And I always tell people, like, it's great. It's easy to learn HLR, but it's the matches that are tough. Yeah. And I get it. I somewhat get it. I somewhat see what you're going at. Is there is a lot of spot fest wrestler producers out there.
But that's like the best thing with you, though, is something that I noticed and something that actually like grabbed my attention. You tell a story every time you're in the ring, because you're getting paired against all these other guys, and it always seems like you're the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
That's a story right there, and you managed to tell it perfectly.
There's a chemistry behind it, because like I said, like I studied so much, and I always encourage people is, if you really want to tell a really good match, you have to watch the old shit. The old shit.
Yes.
Like I'm talking, because my Attitude Era has some shitty ass wrestling. You gotta go behind that. There's only probably good two Attitude Era wrestlers, which was Shawn, but that was really about it. If you really want a good wrestling, you have to watch the old shit. But a lot of people's not gonna watch that. It's all about the spot fest and whatever's out now. It's tough.
I just feel like if you put two matches together, like, for example, let's have R-Dub against Trey Mercer. I'm sure that match has happened before, but we're going to have these two in a match together. Mm-hmm. Would you rather see Mercer and R-Dub reversing nonstop, having all these flips, having all these power slams? Or would you actually like to tell a story between the dynamic between a high-flying technical wrestler and a brawling powerhouse like Trey?
Yeah, I know.
People are probably going to go with the high spots, because it's very simple, it's very easy for the audience to gravitate towards. But when you put a story there, everyone thinks to themselves, wait a minute, this is actually good storytelling for a video game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know what you're getting at. There's different styles. I mean, because people also gotta study the styles of wrestling.
Exactly. Yes.
It's tough because there's so much different styles, and it's and there's catch shoot, there's British, there's strong, there's King's Road style, luchador style, and it's tough because not many people. When I watch an RW match, I'm watching an independent wrestling match, which is that PWG style. The PWG, the AEW style. If people are watching this, wonder who likes enjoying AEW wrestling, Spot Fest. You're gonna see
PWG type stuff.
Yeah, yes. you're gonna see 20 million dives. You're gonna see a lot of no selling of moves. It's a lot of that. I'm more of I don't mind watching a little bit of everything. I'll watch Kurt versus Shawn, Kurt versus Benoit, Eddie versus Benoit, Dean Malenko. If I really want to see a really good independent style, but ease down with the spots, I'll watch a Jerry Lynn versus RVD, Heatwave 99. I'm like that. I could do Spot Fest wrestling. I've done Spot Fest style matches with a bunch of no selling before. I did it before.
Your character reminds me a lot of Amazing Red. I think I told you that.
That's what I was going for. I am the Amazing Red of this community. In my head, I am that. I am the Amazing Red of this community because Amazing Red does Spot Fest.
Exactly.
But he also knows how to tell a story. Will Ospreay versus Amazing Red is probably one of the best underrated matches in New Japan.
I probably gotta go back and watch that, honestly.
It's so good. Oh my
but
God. The amount of the emotion on Amazing Red's face, the emotion, the storytelling behind it, fucking classic.
And that's another thing with me too. Someone recommends a match that I never heard of in my entire life, and it's I have to go and watch this.
Yeah. I'll send you a bunch of matches, bro.
Please do. That'd be great. But that whole, when you mentioned RW, that goes back to what I was saying about getting over, because for example, this is a great example. Krom. Mm-hmm. When I first started in WCW, I did not like Krom. Not for the fact that he was a heel, and he never broke kayfabe in any chat. He would always cause an argument with everybody, and it was so annoying to see. But me looking back at it, I was like,
he was getting himself over.
I don't like his mic skills, and I really don't like his look, but he gets real life heat, and that's the way he's getting over. Mm-hmm. That's why he has an entire tournament behind him. He feels like a genuine final boss. So when Trey thrown him after that amazing match they had, I thought to myself, that's peak storytelling right there. That's what gets people over. So with guys like R-Dub, him recording those high spot action matches, guess what? He got himself over with that. CZB, with his pure creativity and just capturing their attention just by being him, he got himself over.
In CAW, it's crazy, right? You
way to get themselves over,
you'll do your best. Respect. Yeah, you'll do your best to get yourself over. And when I came to this IG community, I already had so it was crazy. When I came back as X, I'm like, I don't know shit about these guys. I only know whoever. I only know basically Gates and Alex Haas and Malenko, because they brought me into the community. Well, Gates first brought me into the community, but then he introduced me to Alex and Malenko. And I'm like, all right. Originally, my first comeback match was not supposed to be Alex. It was supposed to be Darby Allin.
Oh, wow.
So if I had a comeback match and I wanted to, legit, make an impact, it was supposed to be Darby Allin. But then Alex
supposed to face Darby Allin. Yeah. Goes to Alex Haas.
Yeah, but Alex pitched me, yo, you want to have a match? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you're a powerhouse. So I'm like, oh, this would be fun. So I already knew then. Then that match caught a lot of views. Then I was like, all right, who else can I find in the community? And it was Carter. Carter was my second opponent. Then it was JMS.
Oh yeah.
So it was more like, all right, I'm gonna have matches with these top names. One, because they saw Alex and they say, whoa, who produced this match? This guy came out the woodwork. So already I was ready over just by who the hell is that? Who produced it? But it's more of
absolutely.
But then it was not even that. It was more like, oh, he does promos. Oh shit. Oh, he's behind. He produced all this. He's behind a green screen and everything. I'm like, all right, that's. Because I had to find ways to get over just so I can make a buzz. Because if I was to come in hot, I wanted to come in like lava,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's how. And from there, it was just basically all the HLR matches I did within that 2022 and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Because I had to find a ways to like stand out without being in the group chats, without being in like without breaking my own kayfabe. You know, I was like, I'm gonna be babyface. I'm gonna be the best babyface in this entire fucking community. But I'm gonna deliver some great matches because babyface, for some reason, and I understand it, they always get the L's, but they get the W's when it matters the most. So
Exactly.
That's
yes,
why.
I've
That's
noticed
why.
that myself.
And you know what's funny is I never said no to a guy pitching a match. I never pitched him, hey, can I win? Hey, can I do this? Hey, can I win? No. It's more like, who do you want me to put over? And if they say, hey, you're going to take the W, I'm like, okay, thanks. You know, thanks for the opportunity. Like, I was being really professional because I thought of it like, this is still my indie phase as X. So I'm not going to pitch nothing. I'm not going to speak out. I'm just going to tell them, when do you need the match by? How long do you want the match? Let me talk. I'm going to put you guys in a group chat. Tell me what the spots you like to see and all that stuff. And I'll create it for you. Just give me a deadline. That was it. That was my whole entire 2022 run. It's now that I say, hey, can we try this instead of this? I was
trying
still
to get others over, like
right.
yourself.
Yeah, because it's, you know, I'm being genuine as a person, and I realized, okay, that's babyface of me. So all right, here you go.
Right.
It's almost similar to Crom in a way. It's like, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And I hate to give that man credit sometimes. I really do. He does deserve his flowers.
So I got a question, man.
Mm-hmm.
What are this new generation? Clearly, you're seeing a lot of it.
Oh boy.
What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts of the new generation? This new I call them the 2K20. You know, it's funny, they're 2K22 era, 2K19 era. This 2K23 era, right now. Like, what are your thoughts, man?
Dude, I'm probably gonna try my best not to make this Jim Cornette type style.
No, this is live and direct, bro. It's fine.
But I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I feel a lot of people don't understand what wrestling is sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that a lot of these guys don't know how to be professional sometimes. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say their names. I don't hate these two, but this is an example of the biggest pet peeve I have. But guys like Leo Matoda and Jay Sky, these two, I've always said anyone in COD could have the potential to be something great. No matter what it is, whether it's a look, whether it's promos, whether it's just in-ring style, whether it's even an entrance. If you're just close to tire pits and people get attention from it, like, in a way, that's you getting over. So when these guys come up with an interesting new look and try to get themselves over, and then they instantly change their entire look, that bothers me in a way. Also for the fact that these guys have come to me for advice before in the past, and I tell them, you know, you got to stick with the look because that's what's going to make you stick out. That's what's going to make people remember you. So if you just change it after a week, no one's going to remember you. They're not going to remember how you look. You're just going to be another face to them.
That's what I thought of X. Whatever you're saying right now is like, damn, like, how can I stand out? Oh, like, it was funny. I was watching this Bianca Belair interview and whatnot, and she says that the boyfriend at the time, I think it's still the same boyfriend. I could be wrong, but like, people are not gonna remember you for your promo and whatnot, because there's a lot of promos. But dude, you know what they're gonna remember you for? Your braid. And look.
Yes. And because at the time when I was watching NXT myself, I didn't remember Bianca except for her hair, so I get entirely where she's coming from.
Yeah,
but.
And people, if people don't know me by my HLR or by the promos I do, they're gonna remember one thing: the guy with the one letter, X.
Absolutely.
And this is a big X on my fucking shirt. You know where I got the idea from?
Where?
KO, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
He's like, give me the tape, give me the fucking tape. Like, you know, he put KO. He cut the illest promo. But I always remember him as the guy who had the KO. And I stole that idea and I made it work. And it's, you know, X.
but for me, like, that's just the biggest issue is because, like, you got these guys changing their look whenever they could be something good, but they keep changing it, expecting anything to be better. It's like, no, you got to stick to what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally don't like having my time wasted. So if someone comes to me for advice, I give it to them. They seem to understand, yet they don't follow up on that advice. It frustrates me.
That's how I am with the guys
Especially,
coming up to me HLR. Like, okay, follow this, follow this, follow this. I'll get back to me in like a day or so once you did it. If they didn't do it, all right, that I'm not gonna respond back. But there are guys who come up to me. What do you think of this? Like, oh, look at that. All right.
mm-hmm. But see, that's another thing as well with me. The only reason why I never come out, because I'm the type of person where I don't like going on lives and just shitting on people's ideas and shitting on people's characters. I'll give them constructive criticism, telling them what they need to improve on DMs.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the type of person where I don't want to do that because a lot of that can be pointed back to me.
Mm.
Like, for example, I changed my theme song a lot. But I would also argue people are not going to remember your theme song; they'll remember mostly your look.
Yeah, that's true.
So I never really kicked myself to death with that. But that's another thing. A lot of people go in live about situations. Now, I'm probably not an innocent bystander at all by saying this, but I feel a lot of people are not handling it professionally. Like, if you got situations with somebody, they don't go to the DMs no more. Instead, they instantly go to their live. The only reason why I seem to do it is when I think it's necessary.
That is true.
I never ask anybody, should I go live about this? I just do it because I see it as necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And it rubs people the wrong way sometimes. I get it. You probably just don't want to see me bitch and moan about it like I'm a wrestling fan. But the simple fact of the matter is I try to remain as professional as I can because I don't believe in just shitting on people's characters instead of giving them a chance. Yeah. I like to give so many people chances because if I tell them professionally, this is what you need to work on, they could be like, you know what, you're right. And then they actually get better. But if you just shit on their idea and just, act like a dick to them, it's not going to work out. You're just going to make them not want to do their character. And I don't believe killing off a talent works at all.
Mm-hmm.
The more people that we lose in this community because they're not motivated, it hurts because I know there could be something better. But it's entirely up to them whether they want to stay or not. But I'm just saying is I see potential in anybody.
You know what's funny? As a person who runs a very popular or successful promotion, I never did a release in public. Also, I never released a person. They'll leave, whatnot. I never did that. And what's funny? Maybe it's because it's just Caw and all that stuff, but I'm not one of backlash. Like, I don't want, when people say, oh, so-and-so released me, I'm gonna go public and shit like that. Like, nah, I never done that in Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. I had a guy who ghosted me for like months, and I was asking him, hey, is that promo coming along? Friendly reminder, I need that promo. Friendly reminder, I need that promo. This guy ghosted me. 6 months. Right. 6 months he ghosted me, and I had to do a show. I had to cancel the booking, blah, blah, blah. Then he messaged me again and say, hey, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. It's okay, don't worry about it. Normally, in a situation like that, release, out.
Mm-hmm.
This guy probably had some personal issues. This guy probably got locked up. I do not know what happened. This guy probably went to rehab, Nah, he asked me how I'm doing and everything. And then, of course, I asked him, hey, so what happened? You ghosted me for 6 months. I had to ask him, like, oh, well, some in real life shit happened. And I didn't describe it. I asked him, hey, are you okay?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Like, because I understand it's a game at the end. But I'm also, you signed for me for a reason. And I'm gonna use the professional way to ask you what's wrong. I'm gonna be a human being first. Let me be a human being and ask why. Then okay. So,
and I believe a lot of people are just doing that these days, where they just entirely make people seem like they're just horrible and they can't improve when anybody can improve. I mean, dude, there's so many wrestlers that you see on screen that you could swear were not good in the ring, They're not good in the mic, but they could get better. It seems like wrestling fans just, to me at least, they go with what a popular influencer in COG says instead of forming their own opinions.
Yeah, it's like that. It's a popularity contest. I get it.
And I don't normally try to say like, like, for example, if I said that, I don't like the Comeback Kid X. I think personally he's overrated. I think that his matches are not all that good.
Mm-hmm.
So many people would be like, what the fuck you talking about? He's bad. He's great and all that. Instead of like being reasonable with it. I believe there's a lot of hostility here, and there's no place for that.
Nah, there isn't. But also I can like use that. I won't play as a comeback pick. I'll be like, you know what? Like, okay, like I'll respond like, okay, not everybody has their opinion. Don't
exactly.
And it's funny because people now cannot have an opinion in this community, at least. Why? Because wrestling is opinion as itself. There's different styles. There's this. There's that. There's the whole. Like, okay, well, I like this promotion better than that promotion. Okay, well, that's your opinion. You're going to fight me for it? You're going to unfollow me? You're going to block me? For it? And I seen that. I seen people in CAW in general for liking a certain promotion, and then they get shitted on, and I'm just like, but why? Why would you do that? Why?
I should have never went live about my departure from CSW. I should have honestly just kept that private. I only, like I said, I only go live when I feel it's necessary and to give my 2 cents on the situation. I try to remain as professional as I can, but sometimes it's hard to be professional with people here because...
Look what happened. And I don't know if you knew, I made a post about the whole EFED HLR thing.
I remember that, yes. I was there for that entire live.
3 people from, like I said, the new generation, right, who fuck us for, starting in 2016, thought that was an insult to the EFED guys. When in the post itself, I tell them, stop comparing the 2 categories together because they're not the same thing. And here comes people from the bandwagons, right? They're like, oh, you're just trying to divide us. Well, it's divided anyway. So you mean to tell me that Crom and Trey Mercer versus whatever of an EFED match is the same match? No, bro.
No.
Because people are gonna pick the one that looks like an official match.
Right.
And again, it'll revert back to me saying, oh, I'm trying to compare the 2. No, I'm not even trying to put the 2 in the same category like I just did just now because it does not make sense. Then that got a lot of heat. And I'm like, you're missing the point. Get off the high horse and just read the post again.
Well, that's also the issue.
Because both serve a great deal in the community, which is the last point I think. EFED is more televised, is a television type of product because you're all more consistent. HLR is like waiting for the movie to come because you can't wait for this match to finish because you heard so much shit about it.
That's actually the perfect way to put it. Honestly.
Exactly. There's different genres of rock, metal, new metal, glam rock, 80s rock. You mean to tell me all rock's the same?
Absolutely.
No, it's not. No. It really isn't. And I think that's where people are misunderstanding the point. And I'm just like, that's why I said, because you hear all these debates. EFED is better. This show is better than that show. Like, okay, you mean to tell me that BWF EFED is better than WZW Asgard? No, they're not. They're totally different. Right. And you're gonna hear this. Oh, well, how you're gonna hear these complaints from the people who don't know shit. Oh, well, how long? Well, why does WZW take 6 months to bring out a fucking show? Because it's HLR. Well, why does DWF is more consistent than the other HLR show? That's why it's better. No, because it's EFED.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't put the two together, and that's coming from experience. Why? because Kasady started from comp to E-Fed. XVPW was E-Fed.
We've all done E-Fed. Every single person.
We all birthed from E-Fed. Why? Because we both love this fucking game. And that's why.
Exactly.
And it's tough. It's tough. But you can't educate them. People don't want to be educated. They think they're special. And I get that. And that's why I, like you and me, right? You said it before, like, we'll go on live when it reaches to a certain point. But for right now, let me shut my mouth. Because clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. So, yeah.
And that's something, honestly, that I've needed to work on when it comes to situations like that. Because anytime I see someone go live, I normally say to myself, I probably should jump in here and give my 2 cents. But realistically, I shouldn't. I should just stay shut unless it concerns me. That was one of my biggest problems, and I'm working on that. That's something that I can admit. But I think people, whenever they see that debate, they instantly look at E-Fed and HLR. Whatever context it's in, they don't even know the context. They see E-Fed and HLR, and they instantly jump to the conclusion, he's trying to compare the two. He's trying to say something is better than the other.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
But they instantly jump to that conclusion because that's how most people are, unfortunately. They instantly think to themselves, oh, this is what he's doing, but he's doing the opposite, actually. And I've had that happen to me so many times as well.
It happens,
It happens so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that people with leverage should be more considerate and more careful with what they say about, other wrestlers in CAW. I think that they should take time to think to themselves, you know what, maybe I could help him out. Help him find his footing.
That's why I did with Phoenix. Phoenix was posting HLR clips, and I was like, okay, I see this guy being very consistent and he's uploading. So clearly, if you're uploading something, it gives me the permission to comment. Because once you put something public, okay, you're giving me a reason to critique your shit or for the people to trash on them or whatnot. But here you go, Phoenix. Here's my little 2 cents. Take it how it is. Work on this camera angle. That camera angle could have been better, And look at him now. That guy's on fucking crack.
Thriving.
And that's what I did. Weird
It's so weird to me, though, because Phoenix, I met Phoenix through Skeg. Mm-hmm. And I know Skeg gets a lot of hate, but when I was doing The Last Hope, I was really only feuding with Carter Young.
Mm-hmm.
I really was feuding with no one else. That was my most consistent feud. I'd be dropping promo after promo on him.
Yeah.
Because all my other feuds didn't work out for any other reason that I could think of. So at one point, I ended up getting bored, and it's like, I kind of want to start a feud with somebody, but I don't know who to start it with, because I want to start with a guy who's an up-and-comer and who deserves more eyes on him. Mm-hmm. CZB had shown me a promo of Phoenix's, and I'm like, this guy's actually dope.
He has a good voice. That accent.
Bruv.
that fucking accent. I'm like, oh, okay.
I decided to post something targeting him.
Mm-hmm.
Not expecting him to respond at all. I honestly thought I was going to get a bunch of controversy my way. Literally, after posting that post, 5 minutes later, I got a bunch of DMs from Skeg and him trying to make that an official feud.
So
we feuded in Skeg. Our very first match was in Skeg. That's how I got introduced.
Was it the Sanctum?
No. This was
before HLR or something.
Yeah, it was way before.
Okay, that's what's up.
Because he was doing everything in universe mode, because you could tell, because my character would jump out of the crowd and he would do a Canadian Destroyer or something like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was actually a really dope feud for me, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to be a heel to his babyface. He was already babyface at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So an outsider coming to his territory, trashing everyone who works there, and him being the face, it was just dope to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got introduced to Phoenix. And as time went on, I noticed his progression. He actually started joining the parties with me and CZB more, and I actually got to know the dude. Mm-hmm. He has progressed so much.
Yeah.
Because he wants to have the want to get better.
Yeah. He always says that, and it's funny because this is a thing now. The whole CAW Observer, CAW Journalist, and Wrestle Hub, like, he really wants to be that breakout star of 2024. He always said that, like, I want to be the breakout star. and I was like, you gotta want it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was breakout star, I didn't even fucking know, but yeah. So he gotta want it, and he's been grinding, you know. I think he's a little bit on a hiatus. He's taking his little break, because, like he said, he's been on fucking crack with the HLR matches. So,
dude, I remember a couple of days ago I was trying to show him my progress in my HLR match, and he's like, "Nah, man, I'm taking a break from COD. I don't want anything to do with it for a few days." I'm like, "All right, bro, you do you."
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm really proud of him. Like, I hate to give him credit, I really do, but I'm proud of him.
Yeah, sometimes, like, I get it, but you can't deny, like, okay, people progressions. It's ridiculous, you know. It's like,
that's me just trolling him. I'm actually a good friend of his. We just like to poke fun at each other. But people like that need to have the want to do better, and a lot of people don't want that. For example, when you see all these lists of like top 50 cause of the year, I saw a lot of people getting mad they weren't even on the list. I sat here to myself thinking, like, what? Why do people want to be on this list? You want to be recognized as good. First of all, if you want to be recognized as good, actually prove that you are good. Actually prove that you're worth the hype and the attention. That's what I had to do. I went from like 45, I think, to like 34, and I barely did anything. But that's me being hard on myself, because I actually took the time to actually get better.
Yeah.
People don't realize you have to have the want to get better. I'm gonna keep pounding that into people's heads.
I always tell myself when I'm doing anything in CAW is like, you cannot give them a reason to put something negative about you. You have to find a reason to, like, when you're doing HLR, when you're doing this, when you're doing a promo, you have to give them a reason to be like, fuck, I saw no faults in what X did, you know. And if they do find or try to say something, you have enough artillery in your head to back it up and be like, oh, well, you know. That's what I do. Yeah. Like, that's what I do. Like, when I'm the comeback kid, all right, if somebody says in the promo, there's no denying that I'm gonna win this fucking title back. Well, you know what? Well, there's a reason why they call me the comeback kid, because I'm not gonna stop. See? It's like I have already, like, a set promo and whatnot. Like, oh, well, I'm the Phenom or some shit. Well, you know what? You're still a man, and I'm gonna still do my best to try to pin you. It only takes 3 seconds to pin you 1, 2, and 3. Why? Because I'm the comeback kid, and X marks the spot, and I'm gonna put your shoulders down, some shit like that, you know. So, all right, you know, or
see, here. Yeah. With my promos in BWF recently, and I don't know if people have been noticing this, I've been saying this might be my toughest opponent to date. Like, for example, I got thrown guys like William Jackson, Jay Fontaine. I'm facing Chris Sinister coming up Empire Episode 2. Your plug, Leo. Hope you enjoy it. But legitimately, I say that as a way to get them over. Yeah. As a way to make them feel like they could take that title.
And not many people do that. That's the crazy part about this. In order in wrestling, you have to find a way to put a person over. And you can also do that in a promo. Like, it's shocking, so right? Weird. It's so weird that people don't put each other's on a promo. I do that all the time. It's so weird.
Because I don't like the idea of people cutting a promo acting like they cannot be beaten. Yeah. You're human. You can be beaten. Any wrestler can be beaten under the right or wrong circumstances.
I cut a promo on TJ Lee, a guy who I told him straight up in the promo itself, like, I don't know nothing about him. But I in the promo, I said, TJ, you have to prove me wrong and prove me why you're not just a one-hit wonder in this community. And and it was crazy because it actually worked, and I love TJ's rebuttal back. You know, so it worked perfectly. He even told me himself, yo, you caught me with that one-hit wonder line. And I'm like, bro, it's not even an insult. It's just literally, I'm just putting you over right now in this promo.
And that's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. But like I said, man, you know, you got to have the want to do better. And that's really all it takes. You have to think to yourself, what's it going to take for me to do better? Do I have to do better on my promos? Like, I have to get an established character.
I think in CAW, for no lie, if you really want to stand out, if you're not gonna take the time to learn HLR, if you're not gonna take the time to head up the community or something, you gotta find a way to get yourself over, and that's legit on promos. Because wrestling itself is at the end. Anybody can do a wrestling match. Two AIs and AIs is gonna go at it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta find a way to stick out, and the promos itself is the most key part. I have more problems and issues of doing promos because I need to do research on my opponents, and if you don't have nothing on your Instagram or whatnot, if it's just a bunch of pictures or not even clips of your matches and whatnot, it's gonna be tough to cut a promo on you, to the point where I'm gonna promo like, it's gonna sound like an asshole thing, but like, hey, this is my opponent. I really don't know nothing about him. Why? Because he has nothing on this fucking page that sticks out. So, to be honest, whoever I'm facing, shit like I would have to think of something so creative. Like, this is gonna be tough. Like, luckily for TJ, when I cut a promo on him on his key success, I legit had to look at his Instagram because he had a lot of shit. And I'm like, oh, I see you got 8 titles. That's more than me. But how come now it's just now I finally found out who you are? Where's the content of you winning and losing, trying to get yourself better? Where's the passion? Where's the motivation? So TJ, when you and I go at it, best believe you better show me everything you got. You better punch, you better kick, you better show me everything you got, just to show me that you're not a one-hit wonder. But for TJ, me, no matter how hard you kick, no matter how hard you punch, I'm gonna show you why they call me the comeback kid. Why? Because X marks the spot. So I'm putting him over with all the content he did, all the matches he won, all the titles he has. And to me, he's got to prove to me,
The absolute perfect way to put it.
Yeah. And I don't even hate the guy. You see me, I never told him I'm going to beat you. I'm going to pin you 1, 2, 3. I'm going to submit you. No, that's too cliche,
Mm-hmm. But so, dude, yeah. It's a simple fact of also whenever it's picking a good name for you to stick out. Because I don't think I told a lot of people this, and I was going to explain it in a promo, but I'm just going to go ahead and explain it anyway.
Yeah.
I was originally Chris Osbourne.
Yes, that is correct. And when did you it was not too long ago you changed it to Kasady.
So my entire thing was when I came in as Chris Osbourne, because before then, I was already Chris Osbourne because I was doing backyard wrestling. Because I had transitioned from trampoline wrestling to backyard wrestling.
Yes.
It was not good. Trust me, it was not good. But, like, originally, when I was breaking into the community, my name was Christopher X. And I was going to... That's ironic, considering I'm being interviewed by you. But... Christopher X, like, that's the name I was dead set on using my entire wrestling career. But I was thinking to myself, I want to use the name Chris. Because my good friend DK would always call me Chris instead of my actual name. It drove me crazy. But I thought to myself, that's a name that I could get over in wrestling if I ever do pursue wrestling in real life.
Yeah.
So randomly one day, I'm just thinking to myself, what would be a good name? I like the name Chris, but I want to have a good last name. And that's when I got Osbourne. So Chris Osbourne became an official thing. And backyard wrestling, I was doing backyard wrestling with DK. And then we transitioned over to Caw, and I brought Chris in there. But when I joined WCW, I did not realize how many people were named Chris. Like, you got Chris Sinister, Chris Russell, Chris Malenko. Yeah. You got so many people named Chris. So I thought to myself, I want to change my name. But I have no idea what to change my name to. So originally I thought about using names like Joaquin Osbourne or like just Landon Osbourne, my middle name. But I thought about using that, but it didn't really sound that good. And then one day I came across this other wrestler who's not really known, Kasady O'Reilly. I thought, this guy used Kasady as a first name? That's so crazy to me. But I was like, Kasady Osbourne. That sounds actually really good. So I decided to come up with Kasady Osbourne. But I wanted a unique spelling of it. And I'm a big Marvel Comics fan. So I got Kasady from Cletus Kasady, which is Carnage's real name.
Yeah.
So, and which is funny to me, when I first started using Kasady as a name, people were like, "You spelled it wrong," and I had to go on Wikipedia, show Cletus Kasady, and show it to everybody because it's meant to be that way. Okay, it's meant to be that way.
That's great.
But then from there, I decided I want to bring this into a character and bring this into the storyline. So me being a heel, I said the reason why my name is Kasady Osbourne is because I don't want to be anywhere near associated with the name Chris because it's associated with so many failures. And I was digging at Malenko,
Russell.
Yeah. Because those were the two guys in the company at the time. So Kasady Osbourne officially became a thing, and I haven't looked back since. And I honestly think people now recognize me as Kasady Osbourne and no longer Chris.
Yeah, that's true.
So it worked out really well for me in the end.
I thought of X because I was looking at my name and I'm like, I want to use my name. I'm like, Max sounds too like Let me just use let me just take out the MA and just put X. And the whole comeback kid thing, it was very simple. I already thought about it. I was like, oh, one of my favorite wrestlers is the Heartbreak Kid. So I was like, I'm gonna use the Comeback Kid. Because comeback sounds very babyface, you know. Comeback.
It's very simple and straight to the point. That way, people automatically know who you are.
Yeah, and the whole personality behind it is just typical babyface. But I got majority of it through Naruto, which is Rock Lee.
Yes.
And he's the ultra babyface of that fucking thing. So that's basically it. And the whole style and everything was I'm not a grappler. I'm not going to pick people up and slam them. I'm not that. I'm just a striker, you know. And, yeah, that's basically the whole background, a little short background of X. But it worked. Perfect. It got over with the community. The Comeback Kid. I'm like, nobody's going to steal that shit.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. I'm going to have that random wrestler coming on NXT. The Comeback Alicia something. I'm like, mother.
The Comeback Man Z, something like that.
All right, now all I have is my one letter now to be original before WWE steals my gimmick or some indie wrestler steals my gimmick.
Oh, there's no telling what they would change that name to. Like, seriously. But I forgot to mention that earlier when we were talking about wrestling. Like, WWE was not only the wrestling that I grew up with, because I mentioned NPAT and NXT, which is still under WWE, but NXT felt completely different, like an alternative.
Yeah, that's the reason why I got the network, just because of NXT. Because all my friends were like, "Yo, we're chilling here. Download the download the WWE app." I'm like, "Why?"
I was a huge fan of Ring of Honor from 2016 to 2017, because that's when Cody had officially gotten to the Indies. And that's when the Elite were taking over. I was a huge Jay Lethal fan. I loved Cabana.
Man, if you can find old Ring of Honor footage, bro,
yes.
Yo, you're gonna be like, this is so much better because you still had guys like Loki, you had guys like Amazing Red, AJ Styles, Nigel McGuinness, Daniel Bryan,
Bryan Danielson, Punk, Austin Aries.
If you can get a hold or find footage of that, you're gonna be like, because that's where I got majority of my wrestling knowledge from, was from that. Because my favorite guy was Low Key. That's the reason why I watched TNA. You know,
right.
Then
I got introduced to New Japan along the same time, and which is honestly funny to me because the first ever New Japan pay-per-view I actually watched was Wrestle Kingdom 10. Luckily, I didn't watch that live because I did not want to stay up like that late in the morning.
Nobody does. Yeah.
I was watching Wrestle Kingdom 10, and I was watching Shibata versus Ishii, Styles versus Nakamura, Okada versus Tanahashi, and I fell in love with New Japan.
Man, Shibata is my number 2 favorite wrestler. So yeah,
seeing the hard-hitting style compared to the soft style of WWE, and it's insane. It's insane the alternatives that you have. Also, Lucha Underground.
That was
really good.
That was my GOAT promotion. Yeah.
Anytime I got to watch that, I was amazed. And Helico, watching him dive off the building, amazing stuff. Chavo and Ray running it back after all their history together.
It's thanks to that promotion Pentagon was probably in like my top 10 favorite wrestlers at that time.
Yes.
Because I was not a Prince Puma fan, even though, you know, he was Ricochet, you know. But Pentagon was like, yo, this guy kicks
Watching
really
him
hard.
feud with Vampiro, like the Master Manatee stuff, that was actually dope. Johnny Mundo and Alberto El Patron. I know Alberto probably isn't the most fondly remembered wrestler, but he's a really good wrestler from what I saw in Lucha.
Man, they pushed, even though Velvet Scott, not Velvet, something Sky. What the hell is her name? God, something Sexy Star. Sorry, there.
Sexy Star, yes.
Like even though what she did was really fucked up, like they pushed her to the moon. Like she was about to be a top name in wrestling.
Seeing all these women compete against all these beasts, like you had Ivelisse Velez against Mil Morton. How does he say his last name? I can't even say it.
Yeah. The Black Lotus Triad. That's the first time you got to see Kairi, Io, Mayu. Yeah. That introduced me to Joshi Wrestling, technically. Yeah.
I never got to watch full episodes, but anytime I would check out any episode, it was always amazing.
Like their production was really different. Yeah.
Like the aesthetic, like the production, it was insane.
They had a really good theme, and they stuck with it. And that's and that's the reason why I always encourage this for people who run promotions, is you gotta think of a theme. You know, because every promotion in CAW is legit. Okay, I have a new ring. Okay, you have a new stage. Let me see your production. It's still the same like this one. It's match card, match, segment. You know,
that's the thing with XVPW. I wanted to make it a basic a basic format of wrestling, because I never wanted to think. Because what I really wanted to do, I really wanted to make it an underground feeling, which is why I was bummed that you couldn't use the NXT arena. You know, the NXT arena they had during the pandemic. With I really wanted to use that type of arena, but I didn't see it on there. So I'm like, well, back to the basics.
I think people, especially now with all these promotions, there's so much fucking promotions, you know, and they're really doing their best to stand up from the community. It's like, my advice is think of a theme, stick with it. If you're gonna use blue or red, make sure everything you do is blue and red, you know, or look at the look of your wrestlers. Does this wrestler look like he fits your style or your thing? Because it's just weird, because not that many people have that. Oh, what's good, 3Dub? Worldwide Wrestling. Great fucking EFED promotion. Check them out, guys. I was on Facebook. But yeah, man, it's when you have a theme like Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. When I thought of Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling, I know that it's going to feel very ECW-esque, because that was my inspiration at the time. So when you're watching it, especially when I watched it when I was a kid, you're going to get that nice little feel or dose of nostalgia when you watch XVPW, you know. And there's other promotions, and it's like they're here in one day, then they change it up the following show, and they change it up again, and I'm like, what makes you different? Stand out, you know. Try to put your promotion over. Why is this promotion the hottest shit that you say? You say that we're the greatest promotion ever. We're different. Well, clearly you're not. You know,
right?
And I encourage that. It's not to bash promotions. It's more like, okay, if you're gonna do something and to stand out, because a lot of, no lie, and I'm gonna be really blunt. And here's my little gripe is, so and so roster is the same recycled so and so roster of this promotion. You're gonna have and you know I'm right, because we're almost all in the same promotion. So it's now that other promotions are getting people from Twitter and all that stuff, but I'm probably in the same promotion as you, and what makes that promotion different than this? Because clearly we have the same roster, and that's where I encourage the whole. And I think, and I'll say this now, is like, and I do agree with Sean. Is Sean Leota from Epic Mayhem's like, it would be cool to have an exclusive HLR roster, you know, because it worked for Skeg in a way, and I kind of like the whole exclusivity thing, but it's weird when you're an E-Fed style. So it's like, all right. Yeah. But in HLR, I feel like it would make a little bit more sense. Because if you did really think about it, it's kind of hot in a way. Where, like, imagine Trey Mercer only in this one promotion. Right? Imagine Carter Young just legit in this specific promotion. You know? I'm like, damn. You know? And he has, like, 5 exclusive people. You know? It's like, oh, shit, you're in that, you're in that, you're in that. All right, you know? And that's where the whole, like, oh, well, this promotion is better than that promotion because now we have Carter or we have Kasady, you know. And I like that idea because it's like, it makes things a little bit more fun and competitive in a way, you know. I could tell you right now, majority of Hive is in XVPW, you know, or I could say that, imagine X only in one promotion and, oh, shit, you know, he's only doing XVPW. All right, you know. CZB only in one promotion. You can only catch this and you can only catch him here. But imagine, like, now the cool Monday Night Wars can, you know, or the little collision that people like can happen. I like that idea. And I feel like if there was exclusivity, and you imagine, like, even when you do the matches now, like, damn, I don't have to do a match now. Now I'll have more free time to do this match and shit. You know?
I would like the exclusivity if it wasn't in CAW. The thing with CAW is, and I had this debate with Al Walker a few months back.
Oh, yeah?
If you want to, like, for example, he was talking about, you know, getting on the list of the top 50. Why is anyone in Skeg on that list? And I get your frustration. Like, you know, Skeg does have exclusive guys that probably deserve to get recognized, but they're not going to get recognized in CAW. Now, if it was in the professional wrestling landscape in real life, like, for example, there's guys that are only exclusive to WWE, but in the indies, anyone can go anywhere. But people in WWE get recognized because WWE is like, I'm sorry, it's the #1 wrestling company in the world. Yeah. No one can touch them.
Yeah.
But with CAW, you have to get your word around. You have to get more eyes on you and the product that you're in. Otherwise, if you just are exclusive, it's not really going to work out for you. And that really sucks for a lot of people because I will argue there are some people in Sked that are actually really good that get unrecognized. I will fully acknowledge that.
There are. Yeah, that's true. I mean, there are. Actually, I think Cameron Miller is probably the top 10. You know, thanks to
Riley,
V-Kid and Al. I didn't know shit about Skeg, but I know about V-Kid and Al. You know, because why? Right, they know how to promote and they know how to get themselves out there. And I think Al is now learning HLR. Because why? Well, hi. You know,
take full credit. Yep.
You know, so it's like like, I'm not gonna bash on Skeg, you know. Clearly he knows what he's doing. And I can tell you right now, I give it probably a year, maybe a year later, I'm probably gonna interview people and they're gonna say they start out in Skeg. And I respect that. A lot of, you know, Skeg gave people a lot of their breaks, but to have, and now an exclusive, just exclusivity roster in HLR, I know it's gonna be really hard and whatnot, but I think, like, I'm really pushing for that. Like, yo, that would be cool. Because now,
if someone can get an exclusive HLR company over with just, like, exclusive guys to that brand, I fully support it.
Like, I'm trying. Like, I want to have an exclusive XVPW roster. Clearly, I have 2 guys right now who's only exclusive to XVPW, and that's Gabriel Gates. No, actually 3. I'm sorry. Gabriel Gates, Chris Malenko, and this guy named Tony Jers, who started in XVPW and does not want to join any other promotion. My goal right now is to push those guys to the fucking moon. You know? Why?
The best way you can. Yeah.
That's the only way. They're exclusive. So let me use that. Let me benefit. Let me benefit and let them benefit off that. If X was an XVP, if I did not have bookings from other promotions, most likely I would probably be exclusive to my own promotion and whatnot. But I love this CAW shit too much. I really do. And it's going to take me a while, like, to be exclusive to my own promotion. But I thought about that. And I'm like, hey, well, you know, I'm cool with WZW. I'm cool with you. I'm cool with Carl's Tour. I'm cool with Seraph, you know. And I love this whole HLR thing. And, hey, you know.
My thing is, about it, and I lost my train of thought terribly, but I think
It's
I've
all good.
recovered it pretty well. Is with your promotion, you got all these eyes on you, especially from like real life professional wrestlers. They
Mhm.
are actively watching the product.
Yeah.
You got all these eyes on your show because you're actively doing something with the show. And what helps is that it's HLR. So people are automatically going to be drawn to your product and know who these guys are.
And let me pick it out of that. It's not just also in real life wrestlers. It's also content creators from the wrestling scene. So podcasters and all that stuff. Why? Because my goal is to get call notice. Because people don't know this shit existed. You know. So
Right,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
my goal. Like that's why I team up with, and that's why I made a shirt or some shit. That all right.
So we hire talent, not cause.
Yeah, that's the totally meaning behind it. Is like these are very talented individuals who cut promos, who's comfortable doing in real life shit, who are also creative and everything. Anybody can sign a call right now, anybody, but it's the talent that really matters. That's the reason why you're in it. That's the reason why, because you know what you're doing and you're talented enough to know what you're doing because it comes naturally to you because you learn it like that.
I would sure hope so, but
Like,
yes.
exactly. And, you know, Sir Wilkins from the Jobbeteers podcast doesn't know shit about CAW, but he owns a podcast, so I can pick his brain. You know, he knows about indie wrestling, the tri-state wrestling, so I can pick his brain more. He knows how to fucking promo. He knows how to get heat. There's a lot of shit I learned from Sir Wilkins, you know, from the Jobbeteers podcast. Really talented. He doesn't have a fucking CAW. I had to make his CAW. He's like, what the fuck is CAW? Like this.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, holy shit, this is really good. I'm like, exactly. It's
Did
really
you make
good.
guys like Brian Pillman Jr.'s cause and all that?
No, luckily, shout out to the CC. I didn't have to make it. He just hit me up. You know, I showed him. You know, and that's what we're saying. They're talents. And you know where I took that idea from? Fucking Vince McMahon. Anybody can be a pro wrestler, but WWE superstar. Tell me I'm wrong though. Tell me I'm wrong.
No lies detected there. Honestly.
Paul Heyman said it perfectly. The only reason why ECW stands out from the others is because of our talent, of our talented wrestlers and whatnot. WWE looks for athletes. I think majority of them are football athletes, etc. Look at now, developmental. They're athletes because they're naturally gifted athletes, so they can pick it up like that. WCW, they weren't looking for athletes. They're not. They're looking for people who work from WC, you know, from the past shit. You know, they weren't entertainers and stuff like that. They were just regular 6 foot, 8 foot, 9 foot. You know, think about it. They only had cruisers, but look who were they pushing? Big guys, Steiners.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash's.
Absolutely.
Look at ECW. Like I said, they stuck with a theme. They're a bunch of misfits, rejects, and Paul Heyman made them stars. Because why? Look at Taz. Who are you? Oh, I know, like, you know, I know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, I'm looking Kenpo. I know a little bit of karate. You know, like, and
I can suplex people.
I can suplex people. You know, all right, what's your name? Oh, well, he used whatever gimmick his name is, but you know what? You'll be known as Taz. Taz mean, you know, he looks scary. Look at Sandman. Sandman wouldn't get over in WWE. He was not an athlete. Sandman couldn't get. Eric Bischoff tried to get Sandman, but what you know, but he wouldn't get up. He wouldn't get with the crowd. Why? Because Paul Heyman took his time to work with the Sandman, to work with Raven, you know, to work with Tommy Dreamer personally, and tell him, hey, this was gonna go over. Clearly,
the
Sandman
Gangstas, New Jack, like people like that.
Sandman can't fucking wrestle. What did Paul Heyman? What did Paul Heyman pay Sandman to do? Smoke, hit people with a fucking cane, and put on fucking Metallica, the Sandman music. Because people are not gonna remember the Sandman matches. People are gonna remember that dope fucking entrance, and every time he comes,
remember his presentation. Absolutely,
exactly. And that's what people in CAW should learn. Is like, my character is not gonna get over in this promotion, but I'm gonna make it get over in this promotion. Why? Because you're gonna work with me. I'm gonna work with you, and all that stuff. There's a reason why you hired me. There's a reason why you signed me. Why? Because of my HLR skills. Okay, I get that. I understand that. You want me to produce good fucking matches for you. All right, so I'm going to get myself over. You know, that's the reason why there's themes behind everything. There's themes, man. Learn from it. Understand it. Learn why people make mistakes in the past so you don't make the same mistakes as they fucking did. I'm not getting booked right. I'm not getting booked. Get yourself booked, you know? Oh, I lost. All right. If you know you're going to lose, try to get it fucking over. You do a promo before and after. That's how. If you're going to complain about your booking, you complain why you lost. All right. But at least I'm going to voice it out. You know where I learned that from? Steve Austin and ECW. Paul Heyman, sorry. See? That's where I learned shit. Like, Steve Austin.
Educating yourself on wrestling.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Steve Austin did not get over in WCW. He got let go. Paul Heyman took that, got him over in ECW, and where do you think he got now? WWE. Doing the same shit he did in ECW to WWE. If I know I'm going to lose, I'm going to voice it out. I'm not going to say why I lost. Not because of booking. No, that's too fucking easy. I'm going to use that. I'm going to watch the match. Boom. You took the L. You took the LX. You got it. I was better than you. All right. You know what? I learned from it. I lost. I get that. But you know who won at the end? Me. Because they were chanting my name. And if you look at damn full chat and that show, clearly they were talking about me. You know, shit like that. They're not going to talk about you winning. No. You're probably going to move on. You're going to get that championship. But they know what they're going to talk about? That match. Why? Because I was in it. And that was probably the only match that's relevant in your career. Why? Because me. And because I'm the comeback kid. You know? Little stuff like that. Not because like, oh, I lost. I lost because the bookers or Steve from NWO or some shit like that wanted you to win. Like, you have to break the fourth wall? Like, really? Another pet peeve of mine. People breaking the fourth wall. Using
it's so
personal.
Now,
I'm like, you know why? You know why that's not gonna work? Is because people don't fucking care.
That's exactly what Paul Heyman said. People care.
Exactly. You gotta make people care. If you cut a promo, a really good one, explaining why you lost, people are gonna remember that. Besides the whole, oh, I lost because you know you're just their favorite or some shit like that. It just doesn't make sense. Like. And then I gotta care. It sounds like you're a whiny little bitch at the end of the day. Like, you're whining, you're a crybaby, you know.
And people breaking the fourth wall and feuds that don't need like peeling behind the curtain, like things like that.
It was like, oh, I got the idea from CM Punk. No, the only reason why CM Punk got over is because he was very frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Punk fan, one of my favorites of all time. But that's genuinely how he took off.
It took 15 or 8+ years of frustration to build that pipe bomb.
Even at his best matches in Ring of Honor, like, he truly took off in WWE. Like, you cannot take that away from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, though.
But yeah, man, it's almost about to be 9. I'm about to cut this off. It was really good chatting.
Dude, I really appreciate this interview. Like, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on, man.
Yeah, man. It's always next time. I'm probably going to have you on next time. It's fine. It's not going to be one and done. Oh, that's a good pay-per-view.
Whatever you need to do.
That's a good pay-per-view, man. I'm about to write that on my notes. One and done.
One and done, yes.
There you go. It's worth.
That should be like a WrestleMania type pay-per-view.
Yeah. One and done. There you go. I already wrote in my notes. Pay-per-view name. That's what I do, guys. When I think of something, I write down my Google Docs. One and done.
Perfect.
So, any plugins you want to do, bro? Now's your chance.
All I can simply say is, I can do plugins for COD matches and things like that.
Yeah.
All right. So BWF Empire Episode 2. Watch me as I take on Chris Sinister.
That's
Very
on
tough.
Showcase Studios?
Showcase Studios, yes. Very tough opponent. Probably going to be my toughest one to date. That man's going to bring absolute hell to me and put me through absolute hell in the process. That man is a tough competitor. Also, tune in for Asgard 16 coming up on the Dynasty World Network as I take on Carter Young in a 3 Stages of Hell match.
When
This
is that
is the
coming out?
fine. This is the one final showdown between us. After 2 years of feuding, after the 2 years of hell we put each other through, whether it was me costing him his match against Trey Mercer, whether it was me costing him a shot to be on Team Collision, whether it was him putting me through a table or embarrassing me at a contract signing, we are finally reaching the apex, the climax. And I really am glad you guys get to witness this on full display because there's something special about this match that many people realize. This is my first match back in WCW since 2020.
Ooh.
My first match back. I don't count Collision. Like, this is me being on a WCW show. So tune in for that. Also, anytime that you see this man put out XVPW, go check it out. This man puts in a lot of hard work. Probably doing the plugins for you, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, I had a great time, and I thank everyone for watching this. So,
dope.
Best way to put it.
Appreciate you, man. If you're always welcome back here in Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling live and direct. Anyways, guys, like I said, if everything goes well on Saturday with the filming, then the following Sunday, XVPW, the Best FN Show, episode 4 is gonna come out. Besides that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share for more extreme content. Check out my last episode, what I did with Matt Short from Madness, and make sure to check this out too. All right, later, peace. Good shit, bro.
Dope interview, man. Thank you so much for having me.